Fool, you got the surgery. So I tell you, everything was a success. If you in here talking now, Judah TV. It's been a little minute since we seen Judah TV. Powerful SW 793rd. Wait for a few more people to come in. Trying to handle this. You know, this is not my usual time once again, so we gotta do a little bit of waiting for the Wit That I Miss crew today. It looks like. Let's see what happens. But you know what I'm saying, spent the last day paying a little bit of attention to the current events of what's going on out there. But yeah, we didn't. I think we mentioned it, but we didn't get a chance to really go into the signs with the news story that's out now about the brother Jonathan Price. You know, this story has turned greatly in the last couple of days. You know, from him being there with his hands up, breaking up a fight, to now they saying he got in a fight with the cop and tried to grab the taser and all of these things. And it's like, man, is what is there something, what was happening with the perception here, to where, like even with the George Floyd situation, I mean, is the police gaining some credibility here? A lot of times when something happens, that's the first thing the cops will say, well, we gotta, wait until all the facts come out. We only got a part of the story or a part of the video or whatever. Is there some merit to that? Black justice, is we got the wordsmith. Is there some merit to that? Like, are we as Black people, are we jumping out the window in these situations? And kind of just, picking sides based on race as opposed to looking at the facts. Because all of these stories I'm saying is, the whole, summer of rebellion, mostly all of these killings have come to a point, where, at least as far as the court is concerned, there's justification. We already saw what happened with Breonna Taylor. You know what I'm saying? Crown Stone, welcome to the channel. Do me a favor, do the Each One Teach One, and hit the like button, join the channel. You know what I'm saying? Hit the notification button, because we on almost every day, but like they saying today, I'm on a little bit early. We got all on the business. It's actually a good topic for all on the business. You know what I mean? Um, mostly all of these, like we already saw what happened with Breonna Taylor, right? Um, George Floyd, they just let Chauvin out on bail, $1 million, but he got out. Uh, when's the last time, Aubrey is not even in the news anymore, at least that I've seen. You know what I'm saying? Ahmaud Aubrey, uh, you know, who was the other brother up in Wisconsin? Like what's happening? How is this changing? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the first stuff that came out about Jonathan Price was, how everybody in the community loved him. He was such an upstanding person. He was breaking up a fight. And, now the news story that I saw today is that, the police rolled up and, uh, you know, he tried to shake his hand and then he got into all, a scuffle with the dude. Because see, it's only a matter of time if it keeps going like this, right? Before, uh, the skepticism, comes in that, listen, man, these people, they always saying this, but whenever we get to the bottom of it, they the cause of it. Because, and it also lends credibility to, you're like picking your spots. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, everybody descends on this city right here and Black Lives Matter in this case, but then in all these other cases, it didn't matter, Um, are they picking the wrong cases to publicize? Is what's going on with that? You see what I'm saying? Yeah, SW, that's the other part of the what's the name, from 2020 vision to a fine miss. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying, dealing with without, coinciding with what I was saying earlier, is that sometimes, everything is crystal clear. Things was crystal clear when you set out on this mission. But then once you got into it, now everything became a fine mist that could hardly be seen by the naked eye. There's lots of situations like that where we thought we knew what was going on. We thought we were seeing everything that was happening crystal clearly. But then we get into the situation and we see that, I saw all types of little nuances in here, nooks and crannies of this situation that I didn't see when I was looking at it from afar. You know what I'm saying? The lessons is that way. When you reading the lessons, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it says a certain thing, but then once you really get into it and you see the things that's in the fine mist that's in it. But I'm saying, well, let me ask this question. Is there a situation where the case looks good against the perpetrators of these crimes? You know what I'm saying? Meaning, like all of the business came in, the brothers that was found hanging from the trees in LA. That was, well, it's suicide. To my knowledge, there's no uh, uh, cases, that's not under investigation any longer. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, other people have been swept under the rug. We haven't heard about, well, I haven't heard about the brother that was in Atlanta, the brother that was in the Wendy's parking lot. Haven't heard anything about that. Haven't heard about Ahmaud Arbery, for the last couple of months. All of the news that's been coming out, the camera footage, the extra footage and everything has been in the favor of the officers in the situation with George Floyd. Breonna Taylor, they've already declined to indict the officers in that. You know what I'm saying? Uh, to me, there's some questions there. Because now the flip side of the coin is, are the police adjusting? Are they adjusting to this new technology that's out? You know what I'm saying? Are they adjusting, how they deal with situations, and then even how they write up the report to say this or to say that, or to say, uh, these are the situations where I felt threatened or whatever. Are you better? Are you better at saying you felt threatened? Quinn F. Curtis is coming at us from Facebook, so y'all probably can't see his comments. We got Justice Born. And the brother was in Kenosha. I haven't heard anything else about that either. So is that saying something about us, that we're, just, and to a certain degree, being gullible and taking things on face value? Or is it that, they've become better at covering their tracks? SW said, Hushman. Or is it that, that too could be a thing where maybe in particular, right? The uh like the stories that was picked, because a lot of these situations, right, they're chosen. You know what I'm saying? The dudes, the Lee Merritt, before him, your Al Sharptons and Jesse Jacksons, they choose the particular situations that they feel they could be the most successful at. You understand what I'm saying? And, so they pick in these particular situations, but now look at this too. At a certain point, is it that that's just the situation between black males and the police right now? That you just have enough black males that's fed up, right? That whenever they encounter the police, it's friction on varying degrees. You know what I'm saying? From having words to, a brother getting killed. but it's a result of this friction that's already been built up. Because that is kind of a it's like a recurring part of the theme. In each one of these situations, even going back to Eric Garner, where it's like, yo, unhand me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to answer your questions. You know what I mean? So now every one of these situations is gonna have an element of the brother fighting back. But like with Eric Garner, he wasn't just fighting back against those officers that day. It was against the pattern of whatever was the interactions that he was having with them. It was the pattern. You know what I'm saying? Because you remember, that's one thing he said. Not today, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we go through this, but not today, man. I got things to do. But why is it that it appears that you know all of these cases is going in favor of the killers? As W said, distraction after distraction. I converse with the young and old. Too much going on at once to keep up with. Yeah, that is. You're right about that too. Like there's so much and so much news. It's like by the time we lock it in on one situation and say, look, this brother right here deserves justice, somebody else get killed in another place. Mr. 120 came in. Quinn F. Curtis said, this is the result of a mental death, not able to do the knowledge. They are choosing to keep the narrative going and also to keep the people in a state of fear and anger. 793rd said the business of America continues and ain't playing with no real issues, especially during election time. Which was another thing, I watched the debate. I watched the debate between Pence and Harris last night. Of course, it was much less exciting. It's like, it's like watching like a bingo game after, you just got finished watching WWF, after the Trump Biden debate. It wasn't very exciting. I watched it because I wanted to just see how, especially for Harris, right, how she was going to recraft her message. You know, there's some things where I'm like, okay, is it me? But can you be South Asian and African American at the same time? Or am I being, is it me? I saw that Umar on Jamal's show. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I was gonna watch it, but last night I actually ran a lot of 5%. How that works out. But what was the gist of what he was on there wilding about? that question wasn't rhetorical. I want to know if I'm wilding here. You know, they introduced her as African American and South Asian. Or they was talking about the school funds and what did he have to say about that? Yeah, they introduced Harris. You know, it's like interchangeable. You know, how she's African American. Oh, yeah, it's kind of interchangeable now. She's African American and South Asian. So wait, where he said that it doesn't count. So Mr. 120 said that's not possible. It's not possible because first of all, you got to remember those are two geographic locations as well. Yeah, it's an identity of a person, but South Asia is a place, and America is a place. So how can you be both at the same time? So what did he deflect? He just was like, that don't count. Like he was like, yo, it don't matter. And then he asked for more money. How did he do that? Saturday Night Third said, when I saw that dude's face on that show on the screen, the first thing I thought of was you saying that he would be the same posters. We talking about Mr. Random donation doesn't deserve no platform. Who you saying that Jamar is picking up the controversial topics now that that Vlad would have covered before? Yeah, that's a good point too. That even if she was going to use her father, he's not African American. He's Jamaican. But it's to me it's just like didn't we already reject her? What kind of thing is this where you bring her back to still say that? You know what I'm saying? And then to each their own. But besides her affiliation with Willie Brown, right? However that entanglement went down. What affiliation does she really have with black people? That she went to Howard University? Like where's your black friends? Where's your like, do you know Mary J. Blige or somebody? Where's your black friends? Where's your black friends? You bring your husband up here, where's your black friends? So that's one thing with Obama. See, he had Michelle. See, whatever he was going to say about him was like, nah, you ride with Michelle. You had, you almost had to give him a pass. Even look right here in New York. If you in New York, right, and see De Blasio, he won because his wife is white, is black, I mean. And he brought his son out, Dante, with his afro woofing and everything. And that's how he became the mayor. He was way behind in the polls until he exposed that fact that, Wordsmith said maybe her saying she's South Asian, she's secretly saying she's Asiatic for the South, and African American is what she's classified as in the U.S. I mean, that's possible, but to me, it's just something it's just straight explicit. Meaning, how many boxes can we check? You know what I'm saying? You're South Asian and African American and West Indian and a woman, and you understand what I'm saying? Like, you just checked all of enough boxes to where, just like I was saying with the Jonathan Price thing, right? Are we jumping on these situations, right? Are we jumping on these situations because we identify with Jonathan Price or Ahmaud Arbery or whoever, we identifying with them, right, out of identity? You see what I mean? But we not really looking at the facts. So by the same token, you know what I'm saying, with Harris, as many people as they could get to identify with her, just to say we the same kind of people, right? As opposed to looking at any of the things that you did. You guys came in the building with signs. You guys said she locked up a lot of people back in the days, in her practices. That was funny too. She brought that up in the campaign. I mean during the debate, about how she was all about reform, police reform, and criminal justice reform. And it was like, whoa, haven't we already been through this? You wasn't about no reform. But if we still tick these boxes in terms of people identifying with you, you know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, yesterday I was talking with a brother, right? And we, in the midst of the conversation, one thing that came up, right, is that right now, right, we couldn't think of a person, right, who could probably more easily win than Beyonce. Like, Beyonce could be the president right now. If Trump could be the president, she could be the president. Because she's taking the woman vote. She's taking the woman vote. Black women and white women. And you also will have a lot of brothers vote for it. But could you think of anybody more, right now, just, we not, we not talking about your ability, you know what I'm saying, or any of your, political acumen or any of that. We just talking about just on popularity, because that's what people is in there for now. Catch back up here. Got Master G. Wordsmith, you nuts, man. But yeah, I didn't know what it really was going to be about. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those things, and then especially when I saw, I was like, I didn't really feel like taking that amount of time How long was the interview with Jamar and Umar? Yeah, that's another thing, man. I think we're gonna have a live on that. What is this code that everybody's talking about? And everybody's like, yo, you gotta be on code. For some people, it's like, dude, after the stuff I seen you do, now you talking about there's a code. What code? And then I feel personally like you just coming to me now, like, dude, I've been doing this for decades. Now all of a sudden you've come with this code, and then you don't even know what the code is. You know what I'm saying? Like, could you tell me what the code is? Like, when I tell you to be on code, I mean supreme mathematics. I give you that. I explain it to you. I break it down how to use it in all different situations. But whenever someone speaks to me about this code and people being on code, it's like, okay, well, what's the code? Because some of the people that's saying it, especially when you deal with the famous people that's saying it, like, dude, you've been off code the whole time. You understand what I mean? Like, not for nothing, Jamar, look, you had a lot to do with lending credibility to Vlad. And don't get me wrong, you live and you learn. Maybe that was, a mistake. You didn't see what you see now. However, I'm just saying that now when we establish this code, like once a person gets on code, then nobody else can make a mistake. No, you did that, you off code. You got to be canceled. But what is this code? That's what I'm saying. What's the code? Right. 793rd said she went to Howard University in the early 80s, which, no, it's a HSBCU. It's not an all-black school. Those HSBCUs was never really all black. There always was other people. I ain't gonna say always, but I know white people, et cetera, that went to Howard, right? No black friend coalition. Look, where's the AKAs? Where's your AKA friend? She's an AKA. Where's your sorors here? Why we don't see any pictures of you, at whatever time, where's your autobiography where you wrote about your black friends? See, like, with Obama, I never heard of him, because first of all, you gotta look at the areas that he grew up in. But with Kamala Harris, her whole connection to black people seems to be that you just exploited that identity. Like, you exploited that identity to go to Howard. You know what I'm saying? You exploiting that identity now to run, but those are not your people. Yeah, Kanye. You see, I don't know. I think there's just too, Kanye's too nuts. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he could put a dent in it. He would be, Kanye would be like one of those, like the primary front runners. Like, say if they was to announce right now for 2020, these people is running, Kanye would be one of those people that's out front, early, like Kamala Harris was out front early, but ultimately, I think he got, just too much crazy stuff. I don't know. I have to, but I mean, yeah, look, Will Smith. I mean, that's how politics works. You know what I'm saying? Uh, white women kind of decide the election. They're probably the biggest voting demographic. Because white women, for the most part, is not being eliminated because they felons. You know what I'm saying? All of the things that would preclude someone from voting, they generally aren't subject to that. You know what I'm saying? They're not. So, I do think Kanye, if he pulled out, if he pulled out Kardashian, he could make some noise. So Allah will manifest that the code is probably the code of conduct. But this is what I'm saying. What is the code? What is the code of conduct? Like, how you supposed to? What's the? You guys said Harris is afraid if we find out about her, we will run her from amongst us. Yeah, I definitely see that. 793rd said it's also a critic of Umar who actually goes down to the actual school, pointing out the BS. How come Umar doesn't hold his interview at that spot that truly needs demolition and won't be rehabbed? I mean, yeah, I heard about that level of the game too. There's a dude, I don't know if it's the same guy, but I seen a dude that he does like 2-hour episodes on YouTube, just going in on the different discrepancies that he sees in Umar's words and actions. Master G said, I won't trust Beyonce or any mainstream individual that was tampered with by the bloodsuckers. I mean, I don't disagree with you, but I'm just saying that, look, I seen Ronald Reagan, who also was an actor, right? And, even with the way, like, other presidents, when you see them talking, they don't have personality, a lot of them. Reagan came in with the jokes and the personality. Like, he played the part of the president. You know what I mean? He played that role like it was like it was a movie role. And the rest of the people that kind of came after him, Bush, it was the popularity because he had been the vice president. Clinton really won. He won because Ross Perot. You know what I'm saying? Between Ross Perot and there was some scandals, there was some entanglements with some of the candidates. The front running candidates had some entanglements that they got caught up with. And so that brought Bill Clinton up to be the front runner. And then they had a 3-way race between him, Bush, and Ross Perot. So even though he wasn't the popular guy, that's how he got it. Then after that, you have Bush. He's in there. He got in there from name recognition. 10 years before he became president, he had nothing to do with politics. Obama, same thing, popular guy. White women could identify with him as their sons. And now we got somebody again from TV, somebody who's playing that role. Remember, the president is the chief executive officer of the country. So just like I tell people, look, if you give me a role in a movie where I'm playing a 5%, I win an Oscar. Whoever you on TV, I win an Emmy. So he's playing a role, right, that he's been playing and practicing playing for his whole life. So he got through with it. So that's what makes me, like I said, it's not that I'm nominating. I'm not nominating Beyonce. I'm just saying that I do think Beyonce could take it in 2020. Yeah, Kanye, that's what I do think will hold him back is the bipolar behavior. Master G said the change we want is going to come from us showing and proving wherever we at. We all got to hold it down and make knowledge born. The whole society is based off trick knowledge and illusion. Indeed. But see, that's what I'm saying. If your whole participation in politics is just voting, like if you think like, okay, the job is to get Trump out of office, but then you don't have a plan for how you're going to deal with Joe, lock him up and throw away the key Biden, and Kamala, lock him up and throw away the key Harris. If you don't have a plan for how you're going to deal with them, listen, man, it doesn't matter who's in it. Some of y'all probably noticed, but one of the reasons why those corporate laws work so well in the favor of corporations is because a lot of times the corporations is the ones that's writing the law and the politicians is just signing off on it. But the lobbyists from the different corporations is the ones that actually write the law. So even though they have somebody in there that's favorable to them, they don't leave it up to them to do what needs to be done. Voting, that's just one small, extremely small, it's probably the smallest part of dealing with politics. The smallest, most insignificant, inconsequential part is voting. And the wordsmith, that was a great vacation the wordsmith had. I told you, wordsmith, we need the dictionary. The English language according to the wordsmith. Right. See, you guys brought up a good point, and that's what I'm saying. Is that Reagan at least did have that. He's right. Reagan was the governor of California, at least. he had been in politics, but now we've come to the point in the last years, because even Obama, he wasn't like no long time politician, which is that's a tactic that they're using. We can see how Biden and Harris, being that they've been in politics for years, we know who they are. You see, winning the presidency, that's a part of it. We can't really know who you are, because if we know about all the negativity that you're doing, then you become unelectable. If we have all these rulings that you've made, we've had these bills that you've lobbied for and written and passed, right? Like the mass incarceration, the Clinton crime bill, when we know that, Biden is the one who wrote this, Biden is the one who did the lobbying, Biden is the one who, came up with the different terms to vilify young black men. You know what I'm saying? When we know that, Kamala Harris didn't even want to let innocent people out. Like people who new evidence came in, reflected that this person was innocent. Kamala Harris didn't want to let them out. We know that this is the Kamala Harris that, she made jokes about how she used to smoke ganja, but then she locked up brothers in California, for years, months, and days over marijuana. So you don't want this stuff to come out when the person is running. You get somebody who doesn't have that history. They don't have a history at all. You want Michael Knight to run. Who? Michael Eric Dyson label who? Beyonce? Yeah, Michael Eric Dyson, he, I don't, he got an education and all that. I don't want to, but he's got a ticket. Yeah, see, Minaj, Cardi B, it's the gang stuff. You know what I'm saying? They can't see. Beyonce is a more pristine character. You know what I'm saying? She got the kids. You know what I mean? She's going to appeal to the mothers. You know what I'm saying? And just, she's provided the soundtrack for all of these women for so long now that I think she could win. Yeah, you're right. We damn if we do and damn if we don't. So we might as well do. You understand what I'm saying? But like I said, it's about what's being done. See, the people who put the money, right? The people who put the donations, they count more than the people who vote. They see right now, if the Koch brothers go to Donald Trump and say, yo, look, we need this here, right? Yeah, we gave you that couple $100 million, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Call down there to the White House and say, yeah, I voted for Trump. Yeah, I need to holler at him. See, how come Mark Zuckerberg could talk to the president, but you can't? See, on the level of citizenship, yeah, 1 and 1. He's a citizen, you a citizen. But what his contribution to politics is greater than yours, because he's giving them millions of dollars, in cash and in advertising on his website. That counts way more. Being the people who's the educators and the mentors of the politicians. See what I mean? Like right now, you got a group of politicians that's coming up that they socialists. That's because of how they was educated. You know, that counts way more. Like you have certain teachers, right, that they've produced a whole bunch of people that's in politics, whether they in the elected part of politics or public life, or rather they're the people that's behind the scenes. Because remember, the actual politician, you know, we see them briefly. You know, even if Trump wins again, that's 8 years. But see, there's people behind the scenes that have been there since Ronald Reagan. See, word strip is crazy. Darkim on the business said voting is minuscule and secondary to representation. All right, no doubt, Power Born. On the business said all the presidents are the best actors in the world. I'm serious too, better than an Oscar. Brad Pitt ain't got shit on Trump's acting skills. Think about it. I mean, you know, it's you know one way you can really tell uh and see we don't see that because that's controlled, right? But if you listen to a politician give a speech in different places, you see a different person. You know, and I've seen it with a lot of people. Like, look, when Hillary Clinton, right, when she was in the South, then she was the first lady of Arkansas. You know, she had the Southern accent and everything. You know, when she went to the North, I'm from Chicago. She came to New York. Yeah, now I'm from New York. I'm talking about I live right here. And in each one of those places, just like well, she overdid it that time. When I don't know where she was. I think she was on Hot 97, and they asked her something about I don't know what they asked her about black people or something, and she said she keep hot sauce in her bag in her purse. See, Joe Biden, he's a bad actor. He gets out of character all the time. He's a bad actor. He slips up all the time. You know, he's a blooper. He does the bloopers. Yeah, smell goods. We mostly, I mean, is there been any updates on the P phone? Because you know we need a sample of the P phone. I mean, listen, I need to do that's gonna be a whole show where the title is gonna be Darkim examines and gives a review of the P phone. SW, yeah, I don't like Eric Michael Dyson. You know, I mean, he's made some good points and pointed out some things, but you know, on balance, he's not somebody. I don't like that he's given such a voice to speak for us. You know what I'm saying? And you know, to my knowledge, I don't know of us to have given him that voice. You know what I mean? Like you just a dude that keeps getting invited to MSNBC, and then you became, you know, this voice. But I'm saying I don't know who's behind you or nothing like that. You understand what I'm saying? You know, you know who is what does he do? right? All in the business is saying that, the politicians these days, you can't trace their past, like Socrates and Plato. That's why they mad at Trump, because his past is already known. So they use his taxes to get the people to turn on him, but he's legally paying. You know, uh, you know, uh, see, one thing, and this exists in every form. You know what I'm saying? You know, and this is a loose analogy because Trump is a colored man. You know what I'm saying? But see, when you like the devil because the devil gives you nothing, right? Then you're subject to his value system. See, meaning like right now, right? If the people who support you, right, like you said, they already know what you do. Like you can't come out and like when they was like, yo, Trump, he he had a lot of girlfriends or something. Yeah, he's a billionaire. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the people who's voting for him, they don't care about that. You see what I'm saying? It's like right now, let's say we was talking about music, right? And, you was an opera singer, and you down at Radio City Music Hall, and then all of a sudden they found out that you a gang member. See, this could possibly impact your career in a negative way. But if you're, an underground rapper, you're doing, and people find out that, he's a gang member and he smokes marijuana, you're going to get even more clientele because the people who support you, to be where you at, they don't care about that. So a lot of things they bringing up about Trump, all you doing is kind of commiserating with people that already don't like Trump. But in terms of the people who like him, no, you didn't say nothing that's gonna, what difference is that gonna make to them? They can say what they want to say about the taxes or all these different things. Listen, I don't think it's too many undecideds right now. I don't think it's too many undecideds. I think it's really about who is gonna whose base is the most hype right now. You know what I'm saying? Like if the people that support Trump is more hype than the people that support, or really, I wouldn't even say, because how many people really support Biden? Let's say the people who support Trump is more hype than the people who want Trump out of there. Then that's, who's going to win. It's about enthusiasm this time. I hope somebody's paying attention to Asiatic mathematics over here and writing these down, because we expecting to see all of these when you come out with the English language according to the wordsmith. All right, Smell Good said the youth just knocked on the door from remote learning, from having they on a remote learning break right now, and they hyped about getting in some boxing later. Yeah, the boxing is something. Yeah, it keeps the kids highly motivated. I would have to say I've seen that too. You know what I'm saying? Really, a lot of it I think is just uh, those video games is probably starting to get boring. Halftime came in. You guys said socialists is a group of people for one common cause. The P-Funk, oh, you guys hasn't been. See, when we found out recently that Erykah Badu is selling some of her, what would this be? Vaginal excretions, I guess. I don't know. How would you say that? Because this is a Hotep channel. Let's make sure that we do that disclaimer. But yeah, Erykah Badu is selling her vaginal, the essence. She's selling the essence of her vaginal secretions as a what is it? Is it perfume? Is it it's like Muslim oils? How much is it, by the way? Did we get a price on that? Smell Good said he's gonna get a package of the P-Funk in next week. I wonder what the mailman. Mailman's gonna be like, yo, man, what's wrong with this nigga here, man? What the hell you getting in the mail? Like, woo! What is that? Oh, man. Oh, this is Power Boy said, who's that? Hillary Clinton? You saying Hillary Clinton is from a predominantly colored suburb 20 miles outside of Medina? Yeah, but you know, when she's out there though, she pumps it up. You know, she's a White Sox fan and all. Yeah. She goes in when she's in Chicago. That's a different Hillary Clinton. You got the album. Well, if you downloading it, it's if you're doing it digital, it's pretty much everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I gotta put it on my Bandcamp later on today. I'm gonna get down to that. But yeah, it's all over it. For the physical copies, you gotta the pre-order is already on. And right now I would say if you want a physical copy, you might want to put your pre-order in ASAP because the orders are stacking up. They're going like hotcakes right now. Smell this, and they still love the game. They still love the video game. Yeah, but see, those video games is something that, you know, what I see, you know, is another kind of excitement. Like that video game is a drone, you know, where they droned out. You know what I'm saying? But the boxers are more focused. You know what I'm saying? Where they really into it. The ones that like it, they really into it. Got Love came in the building. So it's body oil. What do you mean? It was like what do you mean? That's what body oil. You mean like is it like Egyptian musk? Is it like some kind of like lotion or something that you rub it all over you? I mean, I'm trying to see, you know. The whole toughness. Yeah, Chappelle, you know, listen. You got a Chappelle joke that might not match up with the whole toughness. Yeah. Does anybody remember Dave Chappelle's first commercial for his show. He said, "Hi, I'm Dave. This is my show. You've been warned." Yeah, I don't know if Dave is ready for the whole toughness, man. Yeah, I got it. I just absolutely have to see what this P-Funk thing is about. I gotta see. I can't, you know, curiosity is killing the cat on this one. The wordsmith said, I wouldn't be surprised if she sold 1 million bottles. Hey man, listen, and I want to know who's buying it. Like, is it the dudes that, they put it in the oil burner, put the little flame under it so they can smell it all around the house? You know what I'm saying? Is it women that's looking for a husband, put the dab behind each ear, put pheromones? Or is it just people like me that want to see? Like, I got to see this. I got to see. I got to see. Man, Ricardo Rodriguez King. Peace. Don't call me Ricky. Call me Ricardo. But welcome to the channel, Ricardo. Do the each one teach one. Hit the like button. I don't think we've been on here before, Ricardo. But subscribe, and we come on live all the time. So hit the notification button to know when we're doing what we do. Howard Bourne said, Hillary Clinton is from Park Ridge, Illinois. Yeah, we have many that claim Chicago, but they are not born and raised here. God B. Judge Ruler came in. Judge Ruler said, I'm not voting for none of them because nothing is going to change unless we make the change ourselves. Yeah, but like I said, voting that's just something that we've been educated in from the school level, that voting is how you participate in politics. And it is a part of participation, but it's the retail end. It's anything that you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And if you on a computer, you participating in the computer industry by buying a computer. If you don't buy a computer, there won't be no industry. But you're participating at the very end. See, the people that mine the materials, that mine the silicone and all these things that go into the computer, the platinum and all these things, the silver, right? The programmers, you know what I'm saying? The individuals that make the software, all of these people is participating, where by the time you buy a computer, all you buying is what they want you to have. And it's the same thing with politics. The people who have supported these people, who've educated these people, who've put money in their campaign for them to have commercials and everything, but for you to even know that an average person is running in this day and time, right? They have to have some kind of financial backing. Like, if you watch the presidential race, right? What makes a lot of people drop out isn't that they not getting support from the people. It's as long as they're getting support from their financial backers. So, for instance, if you recall, right, Trump first, when he was running, right, he was way behind in the polls. But the dude, whoever was financially backing him, right? Remember, he had the dude Bannon had some rich dude that was backing Trump. As long as that rich dude kept giving him money, the campaign went on. You see, what happened is those rich people, they get a group of people, they like, okay, we're going to support these people right here financially. And then as it begins to shake out, they like, okay, throwing money in this person right here is a waste of time because we can't get enough people at the retail end to support them. So we're going to pull the plug on their financing, and that's when the person comes out and says, well, I'm suspending my campaign. It's really about the money. You see what I'm saying? So, it's not that voting is bad. It's just that you guys say right here, local politics is the way to go. Because see, in the local, right, the people require less money. So it's less people that they sold out to, and they're much more dependent on the support of the community. So now you have a little bit more, you got a little bit more power to go speak to them and try to bring about a change. You see what I'm saying? But see, here's the thing. That's what I'm saying. We can't stop there because remember, all of these people, Obama came from being a community organizer, a local congressman, all of these different things. So by that same token, he was elevated up the ladder. So when we get somebody that's in local politics, right? We get somebody that's in local politics that we know is good, right? We got to be the ones to elevate those people up and support them to the next levels. You see what I'm saying? They see that's what the socialist people is doing right now. They look around, right? They got Ocasio-Cortez in there already. Now they look around and see, okay, boom, we see that over here, this candidate is kind of weak. So we're going to go in that area. We're going to find somebody who's an activist, right, that holds the same kind of values that we do. And then we're going to give them the money and the support and everything that they need to take it to the next level. That's what I'm saying is that, voting and what have you and all these different things on whatever level that you deal with is just one aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you bought a car, but you don't know how to drive it. You put a vote for that car being the number one selling car in the nation or whatever this year, but it's not really no good to you because you don't know what to do after that. If just going to the place and spending your money on the car is the best part for you, right? Then you're not going to get much out of it. And so by the same token, if just going there and you like, okay, we voted for this person, right? So now we set up home for 4 years. And we voted for this person. Now we set up home for them to do, things on our behalf. But did you even tell the person what it is that you wanted? Or did you let Eric Michael Dyson go on CNN and say, this is what black people want? And who is Eric Michael Dyson? Yes, no, because there's definitely an addiction to these screens because the screens, just the lights, they activate in your brain to release all kinds of chemicals. Halftime, yeah, I don't know if that's very hotep. I don't know. So you know what it is? I think I gotta get a co-host. Somebody said what the term is, I need an administrative assistant. So this would be somebody that's they like off screen or whatever, and see like how y'all put the questions and the comments in there, that this would be a person that reads them to me so that I can react more in real time. You know what I'm saying? But I see probably if I had a female co-host, then they could broach all those topics. Because that's one thing. That's a privilege of belonging. That's one of the dumbest things I ever hear, right? Is, well, black people call each other nigga, why can't we say it? What? Dude, that's a privilege of belonging. No matter what it is, like, listen, how many times, if you got a sibling, right? You got a brother or sister, how many times have y'all sat around talking about your mother? Yo, man, she be doing this, man. Yo, man. Hey, listen, back in the days, man, y'all in the room, she done told y'all, cut that TV off, fuck, bitch. you in the room going off. You see what I'm saying? And you could be in there, look, your brother, he told you, look, you didn't even get in trouble, he got in trouble. He's in there cursing out. Yeah, but Holmes, that don't mean that if I go outside and somebody else talks like that, that's not going to be an issue. That's in any group. They see right now, look, I'm a Knicks fan, right? Now I can sit around with other Knicks fans and talk about how bad the situation is. You see, I don't want to hear nothing from you Lake Show motherfuckers. I don't want to hear nothing from none of you front running motherfuckers. That you from Jersey, but you a Lakers fan. Right. See, that's in any forum. In any forum, women can say things about women that if a dude said it, oh, now we whoa. So that but just getting back to what you were saying, they have time. That's what we got to do. We got to get a female co-host, and then when she's here, she can go in on all those topics that we can't, that we don't, not that we can't, but that we don't, because we run a hotel channel over here. So you guys said, what's the science behind that? When I start talking, when I start talking, sometimes I lose track of the different topics that I ran through. You said, what's the science behind what? All right, so Ricardo Rodriguez Ching is light visible a lot. So the P-Funk is like fragrance oil, like scented perfume. I have oil from, can be burned as well. I haven't been pumping lately, so I'm not sure who will be the number one custody. So, wait, what you say here, Ricardo? Light visible? You say your 120 comes from me. When you say you, oh, what's the deal? You got the knowledge from freedom. That's, freedom was freedom put in that serious work, man. Freedom all in and out of state, man, teaching. I actually, freedom is a brother that I get this this kind of message from all the time. You know what I'm saying? Where people say, yeah, I'm from your tree or whatever. And a lot of times it's through freedom. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, freedom, you know, freedom was definitely one of the first people that came to the civilization class. In fact, freedom was there with you guys. You should recall freedom too. Freedom, I had known freedom from outside, right? And one day, can't recall what I was studying, but I found that the history of the Philippines was that you had a lot of original people that was taken from the east coast of Africa, and they was taken to Southeast Asia. You know what I'm saying? And then, I found out some other things about, Filipinos is not actually Asians. They really Pacific Islanders. You know what I'm saying? So they more related to like the Samoans and the New Guineans and people like that. So I had known freedom for a minute, but I was sitting there telling them, like, yo, man, I just found out you the original man. So, over the time he started becoming interested in the knowledge. And I had told him, like, look, if you want to get the knowledge, meet me at 2122. You know what I'm saying? And he came through, and that was like when the first was starting. That wasn't, I don't think, the very, very first day, but Free was one of the very, very first people that came to the civilization class. But it was one of the things where, I was already teaching them in the street. You know what I'm saying? And then he started coming around here, and it was the rest is history. But that's positive. That's another thing. That see, I don't never say nothing about that, but listen, the way I recall it, right? The first two Asian brothers that was in the nation came from me. The first brother I recall was oh man, the guy's gonna kill me. Kasim. It was a brother that was half Dominican and half Asian. I can't recall exactly what country. But I recall, listen, I didn't teach him directly. I taught somebody that taught him. So I recall I seen him at the rally. And it was one of them things. It was like, still that brother over there. You know what I'm saying? And so time passed, and then eventually, I went to go see some brothers, and he was with them. Like, oh yeah, like, yeah, man, this brother's from the tree. Yeah. And then it was freedom. See, now you got, or you got Mr. 120, you got Supreme Understanding, you know what I'm saying? Things are crazy, but yeah. I teach all human families for decades. And back to this political science, all in the business said, my thing is the selection is covertly causing separation because more black people are leaning towards Trump and many brown people are going with Biden just because of the war, right? But see, now that's the breaking down of the coalition. You know what I'm saying? See, when the Republicans, when they first decided to be the party of the white man, and we're going to represent the white man and all of his issues, right? At the time when they did that, they probably was 60 or 70% of the entire voting bloc. I'm talking about the entire voting population, right? So in order to combat that, the Democrats had to put together a coalition of all kinds of people. And what's happening now is that coalition is breaking down because at that time, in the 60s, uh, the interests intersected a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, uh, me helping you was me helping me. But now that coalition is breaking down. And that goes back to what I was saying about how many people they want you, how many boxes they want you to check off. So you Indian, you South Asian, you African American, you West Indian, you was the district attorney, but you went to HBCU, you're a woman, all of these is different. They want different coalitions to identify with her through that emotional identity, as opposed to any concrete knowledge on how you want to rule. Yeah, what's going on with Free, by the way? I heard from Freedom a couple of years ago. Barber Boys Club. Welcome to the channel. Do the Each One Teach One. Hit the like button for me. Subscribe. Hit the notification so you can know when we go on live. We ain't have time. You said that's how they sound. I lost track again. What? You said that's how who sounds. Will Smith said it's politics, as in ticks on the clock, because the lesson on the clock states the devil is in a race of time and his 6 days are just a dream period. As W said, I fought people for calling my youngest brother fat. We all call him fat all day at home, though. That's what I'm saying. That's a privilege of being down, man. If you're not down, you can't talk like that. That's in anything, man. Yeah, Rod Digger. Yeah, well, yeah, she's already on the Lord Jamar show. But I mean, you got people that's on multiple shows. But I have noticed that, and I don't know if that's one of the reasons, but I have noticed that a lot of the brothers that got programs, that they got a little female co-host now. The Knicks, listen, we just got a whole new regime. Give it 2 years. Right, Lawrence and Lowell. I was up there recently with the guy Magnetic. Khalik Asil. Which Khalik is this? This is which Khalik is this? This see I kill Khalik? That's not how you spell his name though. Al Kim Salam. Right, yeah, that freedom you got. Exactly. Yeah, this is apparently this is a brother that Freedom taught up in Massachusetts. Like I think probably around the same time you went back to Cali, him and his Earth, the black women, they moved to up in Massachusetts, and then he started teaching up there. Come Islamic. Said I put other in those boxes. That's how I mean, and what happens? Like, what's your uh understanding of that? Because back in the days, we all used to write black. Like when you used to say other, I used to put black and circle that one. Like I didn't even know what none of that other stuff was. Afro American, what the hell? I didn't even know what that was. Like that was later on I started hearing that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Halftime said, "Oh, the animated impression of colored people asking why they can't say nigga. I'm always amused by how people make other people sound." Why? Listen, man, that's man. Hope that listen, man. The Knicks need to get rid of all of them right now. Who knows? Oh, so you used to see the forms where when they said Asians, they didn't include Indians as an Asian group. So what did they call it? I tell you a funny story, right? Remember I told y'all how when I went in the plane the first time, right? That I had taken Christianity literally. So when I went in the plane, I was expecting to see God and the angels and stuff. I was thinking, and then look, I told you I was being rational about it. Where I felt like, well, God is type busy. He is running the world. You know what I'm saying? So I might not see him, but I should at least see like some people who just died and they like on the cloud right there with their family. You know what I'm saying? Doing what they do. You know what I'm saying? Um, Oh, all right. Exact science, magnetic, master Saquon, Allah real is your tree. However, yeah, I know what you're talking about. When freedom got up there was a lot of brothers that have been introduced to the knowledge, but they wasn't well versed in the knowledge. So when freedom came up there, uh, you know, he brought a lot of brothers up to speed, like magnetic. Magnetic comes on the lives all the time. Yeah, you guys said, yeah, that was back in the days. We used to always put black. But listen, saying that I take things literally, right? Check this out. This is a funny story. Back in the days, right? I didn't know that black and white and color was just two kinds of film. I thought that at a certain point back in the days that the world was really in black and white. You know what I'm saying? So one day we was riding in the car, right? And I asked my moms, I said, yo, when you turn colors? At first she was like, colored? No, we not colored, man. We black. Like, that's not the word for like, she's having a whole talk with me, right? Like, and I'm like, nah. I mean, like, in those old pictures, we used to be black and white. When you turn colors like this, all different colors. Yeah, I didn't know. Like I thought it was really because that was the thing. I knew that some things, like you should see the TV shows, right? And it was like at that time you had TV shows that had started out in black and white and then they moved to color. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was a condition of the world. Hold on for a second. Peace. All right, I'm doing a live stream right now. What's your? Are you in Harlem or you in Medina? I'm in Harlem. You at the school? Yeah. You at a little school right now? Yeah. Alright, so I'm coming up there right now. Alright. So I just got on the Divine train, so I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, bet. Peace. But that's a funny story to me anyway. My mom realized when she realized what I was saying, she was like, "Stop so crazy, man." She didn't even answer me. I think she told me. No, she didn't tell me. She was like, "Yeah, nah, that's just the film and the camera. Like we always was." You see, that's the same way I should look at Christianity. Like these things that they was telling me, I'm like, all right, well, boom, we at the place right now. Why don't that pop off? Never did. Halftime said there's no greater form of honesty than a child's curiosity. When I was a shorty, I used to wonder why the sun doesn't extinguish when it rains. Yeah, that's yeah, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You gotta figure all this stuff out, man. But see, that's also not taking things on face value. Like this is what I see right here. But look, I'm saying it's gotta be something behind this. Where's the wizard? You know what I'm saying? When we get behind the curtain. What happened to put this link back in here in case anyone wants to come on. Anyone wants to come on and comment. You know what I'm saying? But getting back to those situations, man, yeah, a lot of people thought that when you answer the phone and you say peace, a lot of people they didn't know what that was about, but that hell is low is, I'm pretty sure that's like one of the things that I learned about during the civilization and righteousness phase. I mean, you know what I mean? Like the civilization and righteousness phase was the time that I was around the gods before I became kinetic energy. You know what I'm saying? There was things that just being in the midst, you know what I'm saying? I knew those to be the facts. Right? People still pause when you answer the phone piece, especially when it's the wrong number. When it's the wrong number, you say peace, they'd be like, is Kevin there? Hey, nah, you got the wrong number. Man, look, you're right. Listen, halftime. That was another thing that I noticed, right? But I always looked at peace like aloha. Is that it? aloha, right? That they say in Hawaii, but it means hello and goodbye. But yeah, I go through that. So we got Allah will manifest is coming to the background over here. Let's see if we can have a civilized conversation. Hold on, let me get this stuff down. Yeah, what's the deal, G? See, look, I'm gonna tell you something. You're gonna get the good Allah will manifest now. Khalid said they called to book me or my son to DJ or a job or something, even friends. That word alone makes people stop and they thoughts for a second. He said my first month or so in the nation was filled with goofy comments like that. Yeah. You know another thing though that you bring up, Khalid, right here, when you said they called to book me and my son to DJ, that's another issue that I have. Where like because you know my oldest son, he got the same name. So there'd be times where, you know, somebody, yo, they want you on the phone. You know, the phone. What? Nah, man. It was, who you think? The people he know and stuff they say, I'm like, what? Nah, man, what you give his phone for, man? It's not for me. But see, in the house, we call them by a different name. So when people call and ask for Darkim in you know on the phone, they always think it's me. But that's the thing. When he goes outside, he goes by Darkim. All of my kids is that way. I don't know what it is. Where when they go out and they interact with other people, they feel like, no, you need to call me by my adult name or something. Because the same thing has happened to me, like going places, right, looking for them, and I get there, I'm like, yo, you know, I'm looking for this person right here. They're like, who? Nah, who's that? And they be here? Nah, really. Turns out they all got different names that they go by outside. Kylie said me and my son share the same name as well. His middle name is Seven, so that's what people exactly see. We call my son by his middle name in the house. But outside, he goes by my name. In fact, we kind of, you know, that actually was an episode too, man, with one of my sons, right? That we had gotten so used to calling him by his middle name, right? That when he started school, we took him down there and we asked for, you know, y'all got the slide reserved for this person right here. They was like, nah, we never heard that person. Man, what are you talking about, man? We sent the paper and we came, you know. And yeah, I'm talking about it was like a controversy. We calling all over it, and then it finally hit us. Yo, your name is this. Who's that? West Coast Wise? Prince Reese? Yeah, what's going on? Because those states, you know, that's another thing, man. You know, I had to say that a lot of those people was right in terms of, you know, most of the original people appear to have, you know, let these protests and riots, rebellions, whatever you want to call them, right? They've seemed to let it go. And the Antifa people seem to be going hard. And I'm the news from the Pacific Northwest seems to be that these Antifa people is going a little bit crazy. Like, I just saw a news report where one of these militias had some type of plot together where they was going to assassinate the governor of was it Minnesota or Wisconsin? $7.93 said my middle is my all herbs maiden, so nobody calling me except one often had a different nickname. It depends on where you know people from. Like, if you know people from sports, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's your last name that people, you know what I'm saying? So the guy that I beat said it was Michigan. The governor of Michigan, what's her name? Whitmer. They had a plot to kill her. Like, this thing is like I said, even with the issues now, remember that's what I started off with, how a lot of these issues that the protest was originally over, is kind of, that's been swept under the rug now. You know what I'm saying? Breonna Taylor's killers have been, let go. George Floyd's killer he just got out on bail, and the recent footage that they let out about the arrest, seems to be working in the officer's favor. A lot of these other cases, but at the same time, this thing is still going strong, but on another level of society. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times, what's around you is what you know about society. You know what I'm saying? Other people that you don't know about their activities. So in our world, in terms of, are they still on 125th Street? Are they still on Fordham Road? Fulton Avenue, places where we would see it, right? It looks like no, but it looks like in a lot of these other places that they going full steam ahead, but the battle has been reduced now to, Antifa versus, I guess, the Proud Boys. So why I say nothing much is happening in Seattle right now? Because Portland is still, you still see news about the wilding in Portland. Khalid said, grateful I had enough trust from my children's mother to give them righteous names, all power seeds. I mean, the key is you have to plant the seed in her head before you plant the seed in her stomach. Shout out to the Hotepness. You have to plant a seed in her head before you plant a seed in her stomach. So a lot of that, for the newer brothers that, you might be coming in and, you got to be who you are from day one. Like, look, this is already who I am. See, if you just come in with, just romance or whatever, you understand what I'm saying? Then this is what's going to be expected. You know what I mean? Give them a romantic name like Antonio or something. But when it's known, right? What you manifest it, when you take it to that level, You know what I'm saying? When it's known that, okay, this flag right here that you see right here, that's what this means. It don't just mean that, yeah, that's because, when a black woman is walking around the city with you, she just mean she don't know, but she just see that, yo, every time you see somebody with that on, you like, yo, peace. You know what I'm saying? And y'all have a little conversation. You understand what I'm saying? You know, uh, uh, but if you actually go into depth with it, in terms of, look, whatever you do, this is going to be who I am. Then you have less problems with things like that. You know what I'm saying? Establishing dietary law for, you know what I'm saying? That's another big problem that I see. I didn't see it personally because I planted the seed in the head first. You know what I'm saying? But that's another thing that I seen in terms of Christian. It was something. Was that yet? It was something I meant to ask you, and you wasn't around, or you might have been in the background. But the other big thing that I seen, right, is in terms of establishing dietary law, right, and just the things like, look, you know, are they going to be going to church and all this type of stuff? Like, yeah, I know your family has their own section of the church, and it's Easter, but nah, it's not. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna, it's not gonna be a little bit Christian and a little bit this. You understand what I'm saying? And if it gets to that level, you know what I mean? That's because at some point you put the wisdom before the knowledge. At some point, you was loving whatever you was doing with her more than you loved yourself. You know what I'm saying? And what you supposed to be doing. Smell good. You all the business in it, and that's a living hell. Yeah, when you gotta deal with this science, at your house in particular. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of things that we go outside and we prepared for trials and tribulations. You understand what I'm saying? But in your house where you're supposed to be dealing with right, and you're dealing with hell. You know what I'm saying? It smells good, said I don't like the system in North America. I'm thinking about going to higher heights of living off the land. Well, they have that movement. It's a movement. It's only a couple of people that I know of, but they got some type of movement where people is moving to Central America and supposedly, living by the equator is supposed to be beneficial in a couple of different ways. You know what I'm saying? You got the mathematician came in. So, they down there, eating avocados and mangoes straight off the tree. And I don't know if that's for me right now. there's a dude that he got. I don't know what happened to him now. He might be back in America, but he got like a commune or something, all throughout Central America. You guys said Trinity got to lay the foundation down, because that's a whole population of people. You know what I'm saying? Like when you deal with like how you said coalitions. You know what I'm saying? In the nation, you got the that's like a whole other what's the word? Because I don't want to breed separation. It's not like they separate. You know what I'm saying? But there's those of us that came from the 85% world, right? We a different population than the brothers who was born in this, brothers and sisters. Everything from our expectations when we came in, you know what I'm saying, to what we see, we chose this. You understand what I mean? Whereas this was thrust upon them. And without addressing them specifically, you know what I'm saying, in terms of, they got needs, you know what I'm saying, from food, clothing, and shelter to education, that as individuals, right, we gotta do, for our children as individuals. But see, even as an individual, right, you could be the best parent. You involve with them every step of the way, right? But then there comes a day, right, where you got to send them off out into the world to be successful. Whether that day comes when they 5 years old and you send them off to kindergarten, if you homeschool, whether that day comes when they 18 and you send them off to college, whether the day comes when they go off to get a job. You understand what I'm saying? As a nation, that's something, nations don't do. You understand what I mean? In order to, maintain in order to maintain the existence of the nation, right? They got to be able to nurture their own children. You see what I'm saying? Like I was saying, in the Jewish community, right? When they send their kids to school, they send them to Jewish school. When they go to college, you know what I'm saying, they could go to the yeshiva. When they graduate from there, they can go work at a law firm, right, where the ownership is Jewish. They could go work at Maimonides Hospital. And so everything down to, what I'm saying, like a lot of people might experience this, right, where, wherever you at, you might have the rally, for instance, right? Let me make an example, right? The rally, wherever you from, not saying a universal rally, have somebody where you from, right? There's a rally, but then can you get that day off on your job? See, if you are Jewish, right? Yeah, when Friday come, yeah, we all go home in time for the Sabbath, because we instill within our culture We still within our culture. We applying it out here. Yeah, we doing business with everybody, but we within our culture. Or sometimes, I go over here to the corner store, right? And the dude has to do a lot. Like I'm coming in there, I want to get my sandwich, right? But the dude, it's prayer time. But the owner is also, he's Arab too. So he doesn't have any problem with the dude taking whatever is the time he's got to take off to do his prayer. But see, if you at your job and you take a minute to tell people, yo, the black man is God and all that, right? Then the boss might be like, look, do that on your time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, everything's cool, but do that on your time. We right now, let's not disturb the people. All in the business that I tell my son, you got to make a decision to be God or not. Yeah, that's actual. You understand what I'm saying? That it still comes a point, they still go through that same journey, and especially because you know what time it is. They've been raised in a world where it's like, yo, we don't do that right there. We don't do this right here. But they see other people doing it. You know what I'm saying? So now, curiosity kills the cat. You know what? Let me try this right here. Let me see what happens, man. Because, I see people doing this all over there. Why I never see what this right here is about. So a lot of them have to go through, they kind of make a conscious decision to go into hell just to see what it's like. And then a lot of them get trapped there. But when they come out right, they come out right. God Abi said, in countering the conspiracy to destroy black boys, Jawanza Kunjufu explains how the peer group becomes more influential as the kids get older. Indeed. Absolutely. And in the nation, that's what kind of happens. That you could go to a lot of people who was born in the nation, right? And they was at every rally up until about 13, 14, 12, some of that nature. You understand what I mean? And that's when the peer stuff kind of starts taking over. You understand what I mean? And also getting back to my point that I was making is that that's also when it's like, okay, when they coming around, when they 4 or 5 years old, yeah, we got stuff for them to play, coloring books. They in the back, they playing in the gym, the basketballs is in there, they going in the back, the park is out there. You understand what I mean? But do we as a nation, right? Do we as a nation have the institutions that they need to use in order to be successful in society? You understand what I mean? Meaning, like, look, the Catholics got Catholic school. You know what I'm saying? You can go to Catholic school your whole career and then go to Notre Dame. You understand what I'm saying? And live within that culture. And so you being facilitated by it, of course, it's easier for you to maintain yourself in that culture because of that. To maintain a mindset. Like there's communities like look, God I beat just put it before I even said it, right? Now he said what's going on in Medina with the Hasidics. I'm not sure you got to expand on that question right there. There's a couple things going on with them right now. But what I was going to say is that in that Hasidic world, yeah, listen, the Hasidics is in this world, but they not of it. Like they walking around the same streets we walking around, but they not in our world. They hold they level of interaction with people, that's not Hasidic is still extremely limited. Right, 793rd put more places. You could be at the gas station, the attendant is doing salat, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case may be. But when you are part of your culture, right, then it's easier for you to do that. You know what I'm saying? And see, a lot of us, like I said, we chose this and we grew up a certain way. So we know even how to navigate all these different things. We know how to navigate the different trials and tribulations, that it takes or that come about from living this culture inside of a mainstream culture. All right, IB was talking about the Hasidics with the protesting the shutdown during their holiday. You guys said I've been through hell to come out right, not just right, but right and exact. Now, with the Jews and them protesting the shutdown, look, the Jews, it's been a long time, but let's just deal with the concrete stuff recently. They've been having a lot of problems with this outbreak stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how many people in other places know about this, right? But in New York, they've done away with all of the exemptions for vaccinations. They used to be able to file exemptions, religious, cultural, et cetera, dietary, whatever was the different reasons, you could be exempted from having to get your children vaccinated. You know what I'm saying? But because of an outbreak of, I think it was measles and polio or something like that, in the Jewish communities, you understand what I mean? And their refusal to do anything to mitigate the problem, they ended up doing away with the law for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Also, when the coronavirus first hit, you know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about the statistics. I really don't know, but the way it was coming out, it was the Jewish communities that first was getting locked down in the coronavirus when it came out earlier this year. You know what I'm saying? That's the, it's positive and negative in every atom that exists. You know what I'm saying? So if atoms, make up our physical reality that we right here, yes, that means that is positive and negative in everything. You know what I'm saying? So there's certain positivity, like I just spoke on, how you're able to nurture your children within your cultural context, right? And, even though you're a small group of people, you're able to perpetuate your existence, right? Without assimilation, right? Or with little assimilation, because you got this kind of tight-knit group with your own practices. You understand what I'm saying? The flip side of that is that you got an isolated group that if one person, comes down with something, and the practices that y'all have in terms of how you practice your religion and practice your culture and everything, uh, they got problems with that. You know what I'm saying? In terms of them protesting, the Hasidic community had power. You know what I mean? So I don't know, which specific aspect protesting he was asking about. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, they got some problems. You know what I'm saying? And the way they practice their culture and religion, you know what I'm saying, kind of, that's the topic that we speaking on. You within a mainstream society that I guess they feel they becoming a liability to everyone, But let's face it, what's being shut down a lot is businesses. You know what I'm saying? And let's keep it 100. A lot of things happen, but look, nobody wants to be shut down on Black Friday, and White Monday. What's the? I don't know what's the Monday now? Because Black Friday is for the stores, and now Monday is for the online stuff. But that's what the threat is right now. If we already in October and we go into lockdown, your business could possibly not make it. So there's 1,000 issues with it. You know what I'm saying? Right, 793rd up in Rockland, Westchester. That was one of the original hot spots. You know what I'm saying? Borough Park was, another one of the hot spots. I'm sure they, but I don't know if that answered your question. Yeah, Cyber Monday, that's what it is. Nobody wants to be shut down on those days, and that's the risk right now. You know what I'm saying? In New York, businesses is kind of at the wall right now. Halftime, so this topic hits home. I would have had to carve large orders of pork as part of my job in this restaurant I just left. Management will never understand why culturally it was disgusting for me. Yeah, that's another perfect example. That when you're, when because your culture, right? One definition of your culture, right, is the way your way of life, right? The way your way of life, the way you can use your way of life for survival. You know what I mean? So like I said, farmers, they have a culture. That's a whole culture. That's got to deal with the clothes that they wear. The food that they eat is gonna be the stuff that they grow. The time they get up in the morning. You understand what I'm saying? The kind of people they affiliate with, all of that has to deal with their culture. You know what I'm saying? Our culture, these is things that, we need to develop as a culture. You know what I'm saying? Is those means of survival that is manifested from how we live. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's something as simple as, listen, Chinese people, right? Not Chinese, let me say Chinese people, but a Chinese person can go in Chinatown, right, and sell cultural things from the Chinese culture that they've been dealing with for how many ever years. You know what I mean? Or they could open a Chinese restaurant. You know what I'm saying? Or an Italian person open a pizza shop. whatever it may be. You know, we used to have soul restaurants. You know, the problem with them for me was they was all pig palaces. But I'm just saying that that's something that, okay, through our culture, right, we able to come up with a way to survive. You know what I'm saying? Smell good, said day off. I hate punching that clock. Working for self is loved and mastered by me. It's tough though. Right. You see, that's because, you know, yeah, each individual, we say we live our culture, you know, but a culture is a society. You understand what I'm saying? You know, so when you don't have the rest of that society that's there, you understand what I mean? And this goes back to what I was saying about the babies too. When they grow up, you know what I'm saying? And they go out there, they don't have a society of people. So, for instance, right, let's say you send your kid to school, right? And, you know, everybody else is talking about what they got for Christmas. So that would be different if you in an environment where, okay, nobody didn't get nothing for Christmas. We don't celebrate that. You understand what I'm saying? You know, that would make it easier, you know, for kids to swallow. Or look, here's another thing. If as a society, right, we had other days, like for instance, you know, they celebrate Christmas, right? You know, because of the gift of eternal life that they got from Jesus. Right? Oh yeah, the code and build degree that's born like that, man. Who knows? I don't know. Look, can I ask you a question? I don't know what's that. But you know, that's another aspect of you know, that's what they call cultural institutions. You know what I'm saying? You know, ideas, you know, businesses, families, etc., that support each individual, you know what I'm saying, within that culture. God, I said I brought up the Hasidics because there is a discrepancy between cultures and mainstream law. Absolutely. You know, which is, yeah, that's pretty much what I've been talking about, you know, and they, a good example. Yeah, I do recall that Freedom wanted to open a restaurant called God Degrees. You know, but all of these are, you know, elements of you know, even the environment. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if you're with whatever's the crops that you're selling, you know, because the culture necessarily includes your environment. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to develop a culture of fishing, right, on the top of Mount Everest. Like, if that's where you live at, you know what I'm saying? That's where you was born and raised on the top of Mount Everest. You're probably not going to develop a culture of fishing. You know what I'm saying? And I've been around 40 years. And it's getting like that. I be with almost every culture in America. Like, see, there's a discrepancy between the culture of men in the mainstream. You know, and then you can be more specific. You know, there's a discrepancy between you know, white men, what they express at least is they feel that their culture is under attack, that they could be attacked, maybe not so much physically, but they could lose their job, et cetera, just off of being a white man and holding the kind of ideas and manifesting the kind of ideas that a white man has. You know what I mean? Or we could go into the culture of black men where a lot of us feel that, okay, we're being attacked, the masculine aspect of our culture, is under attack. You know what I'm saying? If you are, Hispanic, you may feel that now the different laws that's being passed by Trump or whatever, you know what I'm saying, that your culture of being Hispanic is under attack. What you're talking about is also what I was saying in terms of the coalition is coming apart. And you got to remember that, the coalition is, I wouldn't say it's the foundation of America. Because the first people that was in the Revolutionary War, they was all British. Like the Revolutionary War was British people fighting with other British people. But then shortly thereafter, they bringing in a whole lot of immigrants. And so all these people, they come in here speaking different languages, having different goals or dreams, or whatever the case may be. Coalitions is what is kind of America is based on now. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the reasons why when you see, a lot of times you will hear about the political success of a place like Sweden. The reason for that is that mostly everybody in Sweden is Swedish. It's not different people. It's not a society. We don't have to deal with as much division and inequality because we all one and the same, or they're all one and the same. But when you're dealing with America, right, and you got so many different populations of people, right, in the coalition, and then some of those people's goals is antagonistic to other people's goals. You know what I'm saying? On whatever level we're talking about, capital has different goals than labor. And so it's always going to be more conflict in a place like that. Halftime said that colored people who consider themselves allies are often more condescending now than ever. Well, see, how they put it? It's called soft racism.
Face mask yourself. Face mask yourself. You got some?
One thing these allies, right? One kind of soft racism that they embrace is low expectations. Just the fact that when you come into, you come into a situation, like even with this stuff that's going on right now, where you got this Tarzan thing with you. You know what I'm saying? Where we're the natives, you know what I'm saying? We're from here, but somehow we need you from whatever European place you came from. We need you to save us from the things that's right here in the land where we're from. The last time I saw that in a movie, because I don't watch very many movies, but the last time I saw that was in the movie Blood Diamond, where the black guy had to get the white guy to save his son. But see, on the face value, oh no, this is a nice white guy. You know, he's so altruistic. To help us. But on the other hand, why we couldn't do it West Coast, why off racism in the PNW? To me, there's a lot of hard racism, and the soft racism appears to have developed in order to mitigate the history of the hard racism. Because what I understand about the PNW is that because at that time, especially when they're going into the territories and even in the Reconstruction era, when states joined the Union of America, right, they had to make decisions on how they was going to deal with black people. Whether they was going to be a slave state or a free state, you know what I'm saying, how much equality they was going to deal with, you know what I'm saying, rather it's in housing, rather it's in business, rather it's in employment, how much equality. These was like formal questions that was being answered before a state entered the Union. And in the Pacific Northwest, they just decided, look, we don't want the hassle, man. We just don't send no black people up here. We don't want black people up here, period. So to this very day, a couple of Sean Proves ago, a brother came, he said he was from Portland. He's like, Portland? There's black people in Portland? Or even, Fly Free from the Providence Plantations. And get out of here, there's black people in the Providence Plantations? I didn't even know that. I mean, I was sure there had to be a couple, but so the PNW, that's my kind of understanding of them, is that, they put the smiley face on in Starbucks and, saving the world one cup of coffee at a time. But I know who you really are. I have time said there's nobody more unpleasant to deal with than a white manager who has me all figured out and wants to let me know he thinks I deserve the opportunity. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here thinking, dude, I've done your job before in another language. I mean, that kind of, that's another form of soft racism called the white man's burden. The white man's burden is that these poor black people can't help themselves. And so I have to do the Christian thing and save their souls and feed them slop, because without that, they would starve to death and go to hell. And that was one of the justifications for slavery, just to show you how this soft racism and hard racism is actually very related. You know what I'm saying? Some of the new, because even some of the hard racism has become soft. Not soft as in the impact that it has, but the terminologies that's used. So we're not going to say, we're not going to say niggers anymore. We're going to say thugs. We're going to say inner city. We're going to say deprived communities. We're gonna say, we're gonna come up with all these euphemistic terms that, at the end of the day, mean the same thing. But that kind of overt, hard, bull kind of racism is, that's not cool anymore. West Coast Wild said, indeed, Oregon wouldn't let any black people in. We had to skip Oregon and go to Washington. George Washington Bush, a black man, really founded Washington. No, I didn't know that. I mean, I knew you had those brothers that was with, what was their name? The cats that, and William Gross is the reason why black people own land in Seattle. All right, I haven't heard about William Gross. But what was those two? It was two white dudes that when Thomas Jefferson made the Louisiana Purchase, these two dudes went and explored the area. Lewis and Clark. And I know they had original people with them, but I didn't know about this George Washington Bush individual. That's actually that's quite a name right there. That's listen, he's almost George W. Bush, man. No Alias. I don't think we seen No Alias on the channel. Do the each one teach one and hit the like button for me. Everyone. If you're new, subscribe. You guys said I don't need no colored man's help or pity. But see, in order to establish that, right? In order to say that, we got to go back and establish these institutions. You understand what I'm saying? In our society. You know what I'm saying? Every society, right? They got institutions, right? Especially, dealing with a lot of the major things. You know what I mean? In terms of, okay, they want to have certain morals and principles over there, and they got churches for that. You understand what I'm saying? Or even, like when you deal with those towns, like I was saying in upstate New York, where, the prison there is the institution that, guarantees employment and prosperity for the people in that town. You understand what I mean? We got to start having these type of institutions where, we can facilitate the growth and development of our youth all the way to adulthood. See, right now we got to, like I said, the first thing we do is we turn them over to the education system. Mr. Marquise, 86, peace. So William Gross is a black man that bought acres in Central District which became the home of black people in Seattle. He sold land to black people from the Great Migration. Black people went to Seattle in the Great Migration. So where's the main area that the people in Seattle is from? Like, see, New York is South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia. pretty much. A little bit of Georgia. But you don't see like a whole like Louisiana, and you don't see like a whole bunch of people with roots there, or Alabama. And if you do, they people that moved to Detroit and Chicago in those places first, and then they came to New York. So where's the people that's where did they migrate from to Seattle? Yeah, they had some Indians with them, you got. I don't think it was Pocahontas. Pocahontas is, I think she's older than that. Right, all in the business. And so many businesses falling off, we have an opportunity to pick up the slack. And these are the kind of things that people got to start recognizing because, now look, that's what you said right there. That's also a level of politics, of being the business owners and the landowners that's in whatever prospective place that have to be dealt with. Their issues have to be addressed. See, now when they start talking about the tax base, that's another euphemistic term for us white people. Like, yo, don't do anything to offend the tax base. See, if you were in a situation where, you would say you in New York, where the home ownership for original people is not, as high as some other places. You understand what I'm saying? So that's another level of the politics. You know what I'm saying? Of then having these businesses, right, where we can say, okay, look, we're going to put our money together, right? Like how they do, they have a dinner, everybody come in, pay $50,000 for the plate, and then we get this money to the president, to his campaign or whatever. All of that's a part of the things that go hand in hand that must be done in the society, especially, if we ever gonna retain the youth. Because that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? Because look, and even when you deal with it on other planes, like I said, people come to America, they might come from China, they might come from India, different places, right? They're supposed to be coming here to study, and then what they do? They stay here because they feel like, yo, I got a better place, more opportunity here than in my own country. So look at Kamala Harris. She told a story last night. Your moms came here at 19 to study. Had you at 25, now she ain't got to go back. See, that's what happens a lot of times with our children coming from the 5%. Like I said, we send them off into the world, right, to be successful, and then they don't come back. Peace.
I'm approaching the school. You almost done?
Yeah, about 20 minutes.
About 40 minutes?
20.
You can't come out for a second?
About 20 minutes, I said.
Oh, 20. All right, dog. I'll see you in a minute.
All right. Peace.
All right, peace.
Okay, where was we here? So the mathematicians say he has 25 acres in Virginia. We still, that's a whole other thing. We still have some remnants. Is nothing in comparison to what existed before integration, and before the great migrations too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of individuals, sold their land to get to the northern cities, or it just fell into disrepair. You guys said we must build schools and places of higher education. West Coast Wide says Central District down the street from where they were talking about CHOP. All right, so they're saying that in Seattle is also the case where people went to another city. A lot of people went to LA and then went to Seattle. Andy Spencer. Shout out to you too, Andy Spencer. Did each one want to hit the like button for me. And subscribe to the page, of course. All in the Business said this is somebody's plan. They are making replacements. We just got to get in where we fit in. In the past, we were too uneducated to take advantage. Basically, we have to capitalize on the COVID-19, just like the billionaires use the same legal loopholes the corporations use. First, you have to actually have a corporation, start your business, and get to work today or be destroyed. I mean, we got to stop being emotional about business. You know what I'm saying? Like, business is not emotional. You know what I'm saying? And that pain is very lucrative. Whether we just talk about Oxycontin, pain is very lucrative, man. And it sounds messed up, but this is a lot of times, man. This is how money is made, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got something in business called creative destruction. So meaning, I invent cars, right? And I come out with cars, and then all of a sudden, your buggy business, you was making carriages for the horses to pull. Yeah, your business is you dead. So for that person, yeah, your business is over, man. You've been crushed. But for the person who invented the car, that person's pain is lucrative. Another form that is manifested in, right, is they say, look, if you want to start a business and be successful, right, that you find a need and fill it. You find a situation where people is in pain, they struggling somehow, right? And you make that struggle easier. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, these is the things that we've got to understand, that at least within the capitalist system, that's how opportunity works. You know what I'm saying? I haven't existed under every different system to say how the rest of them work. But I know in capitalism, the most money is in pain. The military-industrial politics, the military-industrial complex, they bring the pain. You know what I'm saying? The stories that we seen, the Ahmaud Arbery story, the George Floyd story, these stories about pain. In the news, they got a saying, if it bleeds, it leads. So while, these news stories is unfortunate for the people that's a part of the story, it's lucrative for, uh, whoever's taking advantage of it. So one thing I would add on to what all of the business is saying is that, in some of these cases, we got to stop feeling masses pain. We got to stop being upset that the Target got burned down. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. You probably took a little L or whatever, but look, we made $18 billion a quarter profit, man. Stop it. This one store that burned down out of thousands. Not to belittle it, but just saying that when you looking at it emotionally, they not looking at it emotionally. They just looking at the bottom line. Okay, how much money you was making at that store? All right, build it back. We not thinking about all that other stuff. We have a brother here, VCR. VCR is new to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Hit the like button for me and subscribe. VCR says, funny you say that. Same thing here in St. Louis. Most original people origins from, did you say GPA or GMA or great GPA and GMA from Mississippi or Alabama or Louisiana? What's GPA? The greater. What's the greater P? Is it the greater P? What did P stand for? Greater P area. Urban Gorilla. You see the Urban Gorilla in a minute. As W said, think before acting. While you say gotta make and own our own contract in this United States of America. Indeed. D. Christian just hit someone in the head right there. When the Walmart comes to town, you know what I'm saying, and all the mom and pop stores go out of business. So see, they come in, right? Now look, they exploit two things. See, the mom and pop stores, because they not buying the volume. See, sometimes that's what the mom and pop, well, that's one strategy. I'm not gonna say what they should do, but look, that's one strategy. See, if the mom and pop stores all banded together and say, look, okay, let's get our merchandise, let's put all our money together and get our merchandise together so we can get the lower price too.
I'm waiting on AllahChrist. He said he's coming down in a minute. So you doing his part? So
that would be one strategy to battle against that. But I'm saying that this is my point, is that those high prices that the mom and pop stores have to charge, right? And also because they got less money, they can't afford to have the variety of stuff, right? So that's a little bit of pain that the customer is feeling. So you come in to relieve that pain for the customers, right? But then at the same time, you cause pain for the mom and pop stores. That's just how capitalism works. Oh, grandfathers and grandmothers. GPA, yeah. Indeed. Yeah, so you're saying, yeah, when you go back 2 or 3 generations in a lot of families in St. Louis, you'll find that they from Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama. Halftime said, I worked at Walmart for years. A lot of bad things you hear about them just ain't true. Most of it is. See, the issue, well, one of the main issues that I see with Walmart is that it's a feudal organization. You know, it may not be slavery, but it's feudalism. You know, in that you want the peasants working there so that you don't have to pay them that much. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you know, I don't really care that much about Walmart, but I do study certain financial and economic things. You know what I mean? So a little history on Walmart. See, Walmart, the store, the company was based in Arkansas. And when the Walmart first got started, right, they was hiring a lot of women off of farms. A lot of the people they was hiring was coming from farms, and those was their first jobs. And a lot of them, they only took the job really to supplement whatever was going on the farm. So they wasn't used to making a lot of money, and they wasn't expecting to make a lot of money. They was just expecting to you know, make ends meet on the farm. You see what I'm saying? And so that became their business model. Is that, you know, this is how we make money. This is how we maintain these low prices, is by constantly finding, we have to constantly be on the hunt for these peasants. And so that's why you see one of the drives, if you notice, if you see one of the drives, right, the main people that's always politicking for immigration is the richest, is the richest billionaires, because they saying, okay, look, bring the peasants to us, instead of us looking for a new peasant population. And see, they've been doing this, you know, did I say Mexicans? Because it's not just the Mexicans. That's why they brought the Italians here. That's why they brought the Irish here. That's why they brought the Jews here. They brought all of them, right, so that they can have a peasant population to continue the business model, right, of not paying for labor. Queen Medina said Walmart employees don't make enough money to get off food stamps, right? But this is a part of, see, like I said, you know, capitalism itself, right, was founded in the era of slavery. Like capitalism, you know, there might have been ideas of capitalism, but I'm saying capitalism really taking hold as the major economic form, you know, is from like the 1700s, 1800s, you know, late 1700s, you know. So slavery was in full swing in, you know, at its peak. You know what I'm saying? You know, at that time, it still hadn't been outlawed in all those European countries. You know, ships were still leaving from, you know, Africa at whatever the frequency was, you know. And so, you know, it's just like with anything else. You know what I'm saying? If you get an apartment, right, based on you make this much money, you know, at your job. Okay, when you get a new job, you got to be making around about that money in order to maintain the stuff that you already established. So in order to keep the system running, right, you have to keep some control on the cost of labor, because you started off not even paying for labor. Because it wasn't just the slaves that they was taking from Africa, but 98% of the white people that was working for them in the factories in Europe was also peasants. But that's like a sidebar. Halftime said they actually have policies in place on the books to help steal from other companies. Well, they don't like you using the word steal in that instance. See what they call that, right? In the corporate world, let me hit you to how this thing goes. See, that's not stealing. That's leveraging strategies from the competition. You gotta make sure you say these things correctly. You see what I mean? Because see, we took everything from them except their language. So they're very good at putting things in a way they're very good at putting things in a way that look, they can make it sound bad, they can make it sound worse, or they can make it not sound so bad. We can talk about slavery, or we can talk about that peculiar institution. Queen Medina said, Walmart, the majority of employees there receive government assistance, i.e. child care assistance, healthcare. I mean, now that's another issue when you deal with how corporations, right, in dealing with the law, right, how because they give money, what they got to say is more important than what the average person has to say. See, because at the end of the day, right, Queen Medina, what Walmart is doing is sharing their labor costs with you. See, the money that Walmart is supposed to pay them to get child care, et cetera, you was talking about, no, the taxpayers is paying that part of the wage. And when you doing the lobbying, you the one that's writing the laws and the politicians is just signing off on them, then you got the power to do that. See, that's another instance where, yeah, you can vote all you want, but the people who got that understanding is able to make that kind of plan is going to end up being successful in a society like this. Halftime said, if you, the merchant, supplied Walmart with a dozen widgets and the customer breaks one, you paid for it. Yeah, that's, but see, that's another level of the pain where, okay, we've destroyed all the mom and pop stores now. So if you're going to sell your merchandise, you got to sell it here. And in order for you to do that, you got to agree to a level of stipulations that's not in your it's not in your favor. Kylie said, I love the fact that our language, as far as supreme mathematics and supreme alphabets, etc., is magnetic for people who want to learn. On the other hand, I don't like that our language is used as a shield. Yeah. I mean, we came to start using it in too much of a mundane way. You know what I'm saying? That's at the end of the day what happened. You know what I'm saying? That was one of the dangers that, I always say, like, be very aware of turning this language into slang. West Coast Wide says Seattle banned Walmart. Walmart is banned here in New York too. To tell the truth, they really just started in the last maybe like 20 years allowing those national chain stores in New York. Like before that, New York only had New York stores. You know what I'm saying? Like Dwayne Reed, the pharmacy we didn't have like Walgreens and all that stuff. Dwayne Reed was a New York store. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those stores is gone now. And yeah, Target, we got Target here now. With Walmart, that's when Walmart is trying to get in New York, and that's one of their problems, that's one of their beefs, is that how y'all against us? And y'all let Target build all over the city. Yeah, you saying word is bond and slang. You saying word is bond, we can see word is life regardless of whom or what. It doesn't matter if you say it or not. Like if a person lie to you, it's really not gonna make that much difference if they say word is bond or not. You might feel more indignant, like, yo, this motherfucker had the nerve to say word is bond on that bullshit. However, word was born regardless. Yeah, Jersey got a lot of Walmarts. Amazon is doing their thing too now. Amazon got Whole Foods. So at the end of the day, wow, I don't know if they have like a particular outlet for the Walmart stuff, but through other corporations that they've purchased, yeah, we got Amazon out here. Colleague said it feels like a belittling of the culture to use it, but not really respect it enough to lend credit. Yeah, that's what ends up happening. Especially when we use it, right, a lot of times to say the worst things. You know what I'm saying? And that is what the 85% do the knowledge to. You know what I'm saying? Like if you uh like say like well that's a bad example to say it's the worst thing. That's probably the wrong terminology, but it's like, yo, if you using it to say, like power you know what I'm saying, that's what people is doing the dollars to. You know what I'm saying? Like people is looking at it and it's like, that's what it means now. You know what I'm saying? You think Target is better quality than Walmart? I mean, probably for the other stuff. Their food is pretty good. Most businesses hate Amazon in Washington. Most businesses hate Amazon all over. And when we talk about creative destruction, Amazon started off in the book cipher and they destroyed all the bookstores there, and then they just moved into next trinket after next trinket, and they ended up destroying I mean, right now they in everything. All you got is Walmart in Vegas. I guess so. On God, people, I think I heard somebody saying that, yeah, they getting that from the gangs. Most definitely. VCR said he seen somebody filming in New York. It was a Kmart. Well, that was like, you probably talking about down on 8th Street. What's that? Yeah, that's still 8th Street. That's before St. Mark's. But yeah, Kmart is on the way out. That's like a flagship type of store where they probably trying to get off the last of their merchandise or whatever. But yeah, Kmart is they're not gonna be, that's not gonna be there too much longer. Cali, right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. If the only Spanish words is curse words, then you know what I mean. How are you really gonna look at the language? You understand what I'm saying? You guys said we used to have Montgomery Woods, Kmart, etc. Yeah, all that type of stuff. Look, even Macy's is on the way out. It's not looking good for them. Yeah, Kmart and Sears, the stuff they was doing, you get on Amazon now. Wow, I didn't know that West Coast wise. If you sell on Amazon and the product takes off, Amazon will make the same product and push you out. There's no competitive clauses. You what manner of thievery is this? VCR said, yeah, they had a fire sale for items at one of the last remaining Sears before they closed it down. Queen Medina said, yes, I don't like when I hear 85s use our language and don't respect our culture. I mean, it's rap music, but it's also just us being, in the atmosphere, speaking too. When individuals is around you, you know what I'm saying, and you using the language in this way, people is attracted to magnetic. You know what I'm saying? So absolutely, one of the things that boosted the 5% MC, whether it was Rakim, Brand Nubian, Wu Tang, whatever, is that you had terminology that no one else was using. You had ideas and concepts that no one else was bringing to the table because they hadn't been exposed to it. You know what I'm saying? But when we just speaking like that out in the atmosphere, yeah, Target is going strong in New York too, VCR. They look like they're here to stay. Yeah, that would be a pretty good reason, West Coast wise, to be coming at Amazon. Halftime said it's much worse when we don't respect our culture. And see, that's what's happening. When we use it as slang, that's us not respecting the culture. And that's what makes other people think, okay, well, yeah, it's just something to use like that because they're not seeing people having a certain, you know what I mean? Even in terms of, look, you notice it happens more now because they're not seeing those ciphers out there in the street. So you see a cipher in the street, right? And somebody say the wrong thing in that cipher, and then you see the response to that from the guys, then you're much less likely to try to, use that stuff. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But yo, let me get out of here. I got the brother waiting for me downstairs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, non-cipher, all the stuff, yeah. But and a lot of this stuff too, you gotta realize with a lot of this slang, it came out the penitentiary. It was in the penitentiary because brothers need to communicate without everybody know what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of came back out here with, a lot of slang. It came out of there. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you know, when you in a situation like that, yeah, that's how you deal with it. You know what I mean? When you need to. But, you know, if we got a secret code and we use it all the time, how secret will it remain? You know what I'm saying? And we not talking about a secret code, but I'm saying if I need to communicate something, right? And you know, wait, today's Thursday? I didn't even know today was Thursday. I would not even came on today. Yeah. So yeah, then that means yeah, soon as will be in a minute. So yeah, let me get up out of here. So you know, I guess anybody that wants to check this back, because usually I don't come on the same day with you know, everybody get their chance, you know. Because then, you know, people be trying to look back at my video and you trying to look at his video and then it all. So I usually don't come on that day. So yeah, my bad, Sunyez, if you're watching this. But you know, yeah, let me make a move. Like I said, if you want to download the digital, you can download that almost anywhere. If you want the physical copies, we got CDs and we got wax. You gotta hit me on the Cash App that's coming right here on the scroll. The you on my what's the name too, right? Hold on. It's my Instagram right there. You come on there and come on there, you know what I mean? We work out all the rest of the details or whatever you want. But we got CDs and we got the wax. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's my address I just put right there at AllahChrist. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, everybody that made it this far, do the Each One Teach One. Hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Hit the notification button so you can know when we coming on live. You know what I'm saying? By the way, I've been talking to Infinite, and we got some stuff in the plans. We're gonna be filming some other stuff. You know what I'm saying? But for me, more than likely, that's gonna be over on my Patreon page. You know what I'm saying? And I'll probably keep this right here mostly for the lives. And in the meantime, in between time, tomorrow, me and Planet Asia, we got some things we got to do. So I'm probably going to be in and out sporadically. You know what I'm saying? We get a few hits, but I'm gonna be out in the midst. Hold on, let me write this down. Yeah, you know, I didn't really like that jump off. You know, it was dope. 783rd, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, yo, listen, man, you gotta get your behind the scenes stuff earlier in the session, man. You know, you wait until, you know, the blood of Christ is in that spirit. You gotta start getting this stuff earlier, man, so we could be intelligible. You know what I'm saying? But at any rate, like I said, I'm gonna be in and out tomorrow, Friday. You know what I'm saying? Also, check for me on Instagram tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna need to put some stuff on there. You know what I'm saying? And push come to shove, we should be back in here Saturday if I don't get a chance to come on tomorrow. You know what I mean? In the meantime, in between time, peace to the gods, peace to the earths, peace to all the people, whatever nation you might be a part of that's in the background doing the knowledge, which is the right thing. And Luke Cage, what's the deal? You came in, oh man, you what did you miss? The whole show. But we had a good one today, you know what I'm saying, that you might want to go back and check out. But what you said, no direct links for those not on IG. What you want to link to? You need a link to what? No doubt, you got look. I got to come out there. I got to come out there with Planet Asia. Actually, I got a couple people I can come out there. I come out there see Born. I come out there and see my man too. Oh, for previewing music. I mean, yeah, right now that's the only real way I know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen a couple of new sites or whatever, but yeah, right now, I'm not really up on all the new TikToks and all of that stuff. DJ Scratch, yeah, he do his thing. But most likely I'm not gonna be bumping heads with him because I'm gonna be, like I said, in and out. We got some business we gotta handle. You're gonna see all of that tomorrow when we come on. You know what I mean? But at any rate, peace everybody. I'm gonna catch y'all later.